Okay. I just wanted to get this on camera because it's really crazy what happened to me today. And I wanted to tell, I don't want to tell a whole bunch of times because it's kind of long, but it was wild and it like shook my world. Kind of the events that happened and the sequence that happened and why it happened. So today I just felt really like drawn to be creative at a certain part of the day, right? And I wanted to just, for some reason, just write. And I've been writing a lot lately, taking small parts of my day to just do that, and allowing that space and being okay with it. Okay, so I'm just gonna try to write, trying to be outside mostly. Today I was inside. It's been raining, and so I had a notebook with me, and I was just kind of taking notes through the morning as I was doing something. And I like to watch a lot of different variety, like spiritual stuff. So today I was watching about near-death experiences, and that's been a huge part of my journey in certain ways, and it comes full circle, like how that's kind of incorporated into me and like what's happened to me. But that's just kind of a side story. But what the man was saying today was just speaking to me really strongly, and he was saying that each one of us is here to just be so unique, and we're each such an individual, like, recipe of magic, and we have to express that, and that's like part of our mission. And I struggle with trying to start this business and just figuring out, because I'm always figuring out what and who I want to serve. I want to serve other people, and I know I have these gifts that I've been developing, and I always think like I don't want to pigeonhole myself and think I'm only going to be healing in this one way. And a lot of times lately I've been noticing like everyone's just talking about embracing all of your gifts, and why do you have to be one way? You can be you can use all your gifts in different ways, whatever. So that was just really resonating with me, and I was thinking about that. And then all of a sudden I just got this overwhelming sense of giving appreciation and ancestors, right? So I just started kind of connecting with each one of my ancestors. So I took out my notebook and I just started writing them down. And one thing that I've been thinking a lot about lately is about writing. And since I've been just kind of starting writing, but I've been thinking like my aunt, has been guiding me in some way, in certain ways. And I've been seeing this a lot in different ways, manifesting and coming about. So today I'm thinking about my one specific aunt. I'm going to say her name in a little bit. But so I had her on my mind, and I wrote down in my book, books I will write, successful books. I just wrote that down. I said, yeah. And I'm thinking to myself, like, what am I waiting for? What is happening? Like, what's causing me to not know what's the next step and just trust it? And, and I do every day, and I do it my own way, but just not feeling fully comfortable to embrace it. And just, as you have to embrace love and abandon fear. And I'm trying to do that, and everyone's doing that, but it's hard. It's hard being a human every day, and just like, everything is difficult, right? So you got to do things on your own terms. So I have my phone next to me, and all of a sudden my phone dings. It goes ding. So I look down at my phone, and I don't know if you guys know, but there is something called Clubhouse. And on Clubhouse, you can have all different kinds of forums and talks, and you can, they have different topics. And if you're interested in it, you join it, you get an alert. So I joined it a long time ago, and I only use it for one specific group, like for light language stuff. This is a woman I follow, and she does amazing things with light language, and I'm obsessed with it. But other than that, I think when I joined, I had subscribed to different groups and like not knowing. And then so all of a sudden I look down at my phone, and it says this group is starting. The group is called Soul Center. And the name of the group today was, What Are You Waiting For? Literally, after I just had that thought, I look at my phone and it says Clubhouse, What Are You Waiting For? And I don't remember joining Soul Center, but at one point probably I did. And I'm like, okay, let's go with it. Every day I'm trying to trust my angels. On pretty much my day, I'm having constant communication back and forth. If I'm thinking something, I need a confirmation, I'll get the numbers that I need. It's always in numbers, it's in sequence, it's images, whatever. It depends on the day. And but this day I was really honing in on the energy of my aunt, because I feel like she was an educator. She has a school named after her. She's very important in our family. She was the anchor of our family, and she's been gone a long time. And our family is trying to get back to that, joining back together. So that I really have that in my heart That's something we're working through a lot of traumas and working on ancestral healing to bring my family back to a place of glory where we used to be. That's in my heart, and that's what I'm working for. Get emotional. Anyway, so I have that in my heart, and I'm thinking I'm going to get information. There's something I need to hear there. I feel like my aunt is guiding me to this group. So I'm like, okay, so yeah, what are you waiting for? I jump on, and everyone's kind of coming onto the forum, and they're kind of saying hello. And so the woman, her name was Shannon, I think. I'll say later what her name is. But anyway, do you can check something? Isn't someone here? Oh, okay. So what happens is, so she starts opening up the forum, and the first thing she says, and you'll resonate with this. So it's these two people who are moderating it, a man and a woman, and she says, okay, everyone, you know how I just start. I'm going to pull a tarot card. Okay. And me, like my friends or clients, or I'm working with someone, I like to direct my day because I say, I know that when I use my deck and I'm connecting with that person's energy, I know that my guides and their guides will connect, and it will be what they need to hear for the day, right? Sure. So she starts saying she's going to pull a deck. So I said, I have my cards right here. I'm going to pull a deck. And meanwhile, think of all these things, and I'm thinking of my business. I want to write these books. I have this information, and struggling with all these different aspects of my gifts and how do they come together, and how do I reach the people, because I want to fulfill my purpose work, which I feel like is to be in service. Everyone's is to be in service, and how do you show love and be in service and love, right? So this is the card I pull, the High Priestess. Okay. I pull the High Priestess. Now, for people in tarot, they know, like, that's the boss ass bitch card, okay? So it says, there are deep secrets and many mysteries in life. The High Priestess knows the path toward them. She sits on her throne with her laptop full of secret knowledge and wisdom, pensive but inviting. Behind her, a veil of pomegranate suggests the desire for answers is there, but we may not be ready to lift the veil of mysteries. The moon at her feet seeks to awaken our consciousness and opens up to hidden things and the strangest parts of existing. Be still. Sometimes the greatest power comes in knowing that you do not know anything. You've come up against the truth that more self-knowledge is needed, and it's time to reflect in order to grow. Explore your self-conscious through meditation, through tarot itself, and through study. It's not time to make a big decision right now. So I'm thinking, yeah, we're going to get information from this. So that, first of all, to me, is a really powerful, you're going to stand in power from this, right? So then, so the woman starts talking, and she does her tarot, and she's just kind of going into it, and they start talking about being divinely guided. And they open up and they say, and the topic is, what are you waiting for? But the first topic that they opened up was, we're all so strongly being divinely guided right now. And I feel like people are divinely guided within this group even to be here. And I'm like, wow, yeah. That's how I feel right now. Something just, wow. I was like, wow, that's crazy. And then, as people are still coming in, the woman says, everybody, when it's their first time on Clubhouse, I see there's a new person here. I like to just give them a shout out. And she goes, everybody, welcome Beverly. Oh, wow. And Beverly is my aunt, and who is my strongest spirit guide, who I communicate with every day. Yeah. And I felt so guided to go on here because there was going to be information. And I said, I'm struggling, Aunt Beverly. I know I want to write these books, which I had just written. And the first person I get on, she welcomes Beverly. And I'm like, oh my God. And I'm just like, this is incredible. So I'm like, this is crazy. So then one person speaks, and her name was Claudia, and she started talking about how she felt like she wanted to write books, and she has an autistic child. And that she started telling her story about how she feels very frozen. She knows she wants to write a book, but she goes to write it, and her guides aren't really there, but she knows they want to give her information, so she's trying to open up to that. And first of all, I peaked because I have an autistic child in my family. My cousin Danielle's son, Julian, he's about 3 years old, and he's been diagnosed on the spectrum. He's been in my mind a lot too, now that I'm learning about EES and scalar healing and all these different healing modalities that can be have been proven to be very successful for kids on the spectrum. So I've been having him on my heart a lot. So First Lady speaks about that. And the woman, the moderator, says to her, I am a channeler, and I know that we're all so divinely guided and everyone is speaking their truth, and it's so empowering right now. Are you open to hearing a message? Because I'm getting a message for you. Are you open to it? She says, yeah, absolutely. So she starts opening and she said, I love, you're so brave. This is a message. She goes, many people are going to hear your story. They are going to learn from you like this. I'm feeling this energy from you. This is your calling. And I see you writing this down. You're going to be guided by your guides. Don't be scared. You're going to write it and you're going to help others. And she said, I want everyone to feel right now. Close your eyes and feel the feeling that you walk and you're in an airport and a person comes up to you and says, you changed my life because you shared something of yours, and everyone feel it. And I was like, wow. And I was feeling that. I was like, yes, you can make, a change and stuff. And then another woman spoke right after her, and something else was just in my mind. Like, wow, it was just so into me. And so the woman who was on there was like, I've been on Clubhouse for 2 years, and I get so nervous when I'm in the background, like, I have something to say. Like, this is all crazy how I got here. And my aunt is like, you speak up. Because she used to say that when we were little, when we were scared to speak up. She said, you speak up, and this is your time. And I was like, oh my God, it's crazy. Mm-hmm. So, yeah. So, I was like, wow. So I look down and I see the Lady Bev there, and I see all these names, and I'm like, oh yeah, I feel it. So I raised my hand to talk, and they called on me. And right before I had sent it to T, I was like, hey, I shared it with her, and she was on, but I think she was having a hard time or something, so she got off. But so right before I was about to talk, she got off. So I was like, oh shit, she's not going to hear this. But I was like, that's okay. I got to record this. So then, yeah, so I got on, and I told him exactly what I'm saying right now, the order of everything that happened that got me to here. And I said, and everything when they were asking, because the topic was, what are you waiting for? So they said, yeah, what are you waiting for? And so I said, and then when I was telling this, I said, I think in my mind, what I'm waiting for is for all this shit to make sense to me. And all this stuff, all this information, these things I'm doing every day, it makes sense as little pieces. It doesn't make sense, but when you pull it all together and really appreciate it for what it just starts making sense. And I, for the first time, publicly shared my experience about CE5 contact and about things like that, which I'm going to share another time. But I told them that on July 26th of 2022 that I had a very profound experience. I shared that publicly with them, and I was saying, how I'm super empathetic with everyone, and that's a problem because I take on the emotions and problems and feelings with other people very easily, and I've had to learn over the years how to set those boundaries, and I'm doing better about that, because it's a full-time job keeping your energy so high and trying to be high vibrational. And a lot of times when you're working with other people, sometimes your energy can be changed or manipulated, and just trying to be strong in that, and like that's hard and stuff like that. So I just kind of let it all out, like I'm a healer, I'm trying to be a healer, start this business, I have these ideas. And then so I stopped, and it was dead silent. It was like, I'm talking about star beings and things like deep stuff, and because I said thank you to them for providing a space where people in our community of all different kinds of beings, they can just come and have a forum where they're like, I'm accepted, and I was guided to be in this topic, this talk today. And every single person who spoke, I got something from it, and it was just making me feel so empowered. And then she's like, I'm getting a message for you. Are you okay? I have something for you. And I said, absolutely. And she said, so I had written all this down, and I was going to bring it and everything. I'm going to tell you everything she told me, which was 100% resonated with me, and I'm going to try to remember the right order. She said, first of all, Taryn, you need to be every day writing down these stories, because your stories have to be heard. They are so unique, and that's your story. And like yeah, that it's so individual, it's strange, but in these communities, you don't worry about the people who aren't going to accept you or whatever. But when you're on a healing journey, and a lot of your healing and your trauma has been over abandonment or rejection or things like that, it's those kinds of things can be more difficult. So it's always a constant process and all that. But man, I was just sitting there, and then she starts telling me all this information. She says, you need to be writing. She said, your story needs to be told. She said, I don't know, but if you're into this, but what you need to be doing is yoga. But there are certain poses, certain energetic poses that you need to find to do those in yoga that are going to increase whatever energy that's inside of me. She said, you are a natural healer. I see you doing Reiki. I don't know what kind of, if you do Reiki, you know, I do like pretty much, I say it's like similar to Reiki, but I use a lot of other, you know, different modalities with it. But the way the manipulation of energy and the energy transfer and things like that is basically what I do. So she says, you need to be doing Reiki. So that's confirmation. And then she says about the yoga. And you know that I had that cosmic soul, like realignment, whatever you want to call it, session with Sam the Illusionist, where I got to ask questions specifically, and I asked about my soul's purpose and things like that were really aligned. But one thing that they mentioned was the yoga, and I know that yoga was really important to me at a certain time in my life. It was super important. When I was pregnant with both of my girls, I was doing yoga. A little bit after that, pretty regularly, I was doing yoga. And I knew recently that I had to do yoga, but when I heard that in the previous life, right before this one, when I was Munna in India, who lived to 92 years old, he found healing within himself because he went back to yoga. And when I started all this, and I started knowing that why yoga was so important, it's not only important for this incarnation, it's really important for Munna, who I was before. And all these pieces start coming together. She's just saying yoga, but certain things, certain pieces of yoga. She's telling me that. And she's saying, both of them are saying that as a super empath, and she said she can feel it. And she can feel how that I was giving love and receiving love like a channel for the whole group. She sensed that. And she said, you need to protect that. And then the other guy was saying that that I need to do not so much protection, but more grounding. And that's like what I've been really working on a lot. So just all these things together, man, and everything I was just writing down, and I just never had a day. And I have days where there's so many little things that, you know, but this was just sequential, and it was just like this, and then this, and then this. And this all happened within 2 hours time frame. And it just kind of blew my mind. It blew my mind. It got me thinking about so many things, and it's just like, the most important thing is I haven't shared. So I'm listening. And I gave them thank you, how important it was to me. I'm going to take everything that they said, you know, thank you for all that. I really just felt so grateful to just be able to hear that today. And as soon as I hung up, the next person was Beverly. And she said, I'm coming on here because of what Taryn just said. Yeah. She felt so empowered from what I said. Yeah. On her first day ever to Clubhouse or ever in spirituality, she was like, I've never seen it. The lady at Monitor was like, thank you for your bravery you got. And she said it was because of me. Wow. So I felt so drawn to go there to help from my Aunt Beverly to help me with something. And she said, speak up, girl. And I did. And it was to help another Beverly. And that's all happened to me today. And it was just so fucking magical and so deep on every level to me. It was incredible. It was so divinely guided, and everything they were saying was just divinely guided. And when Beverly was speaking, the other woman got on and she said, Beverly, she said, I think Beverly said she was working as a lawyer somewhere, and she said, Beverly, I'm being drawn to speak to you right now. And she goes, I don't know why, but I know that I can help you, and I know what you're supposed to do for your next thing, and I'm the one to help you. So because she felt comfortable enough to speak, because she heard what I had to say, the woman had a profound way that she was going to help her. She gave her email. She gave her contact direct. So I was just like, that's like, when you say pay it forward, you say like be your light and just say who you are, and just like, that's so empowering, because I saw it in action to help someone today. And that shit was just like, it blew me away. What are you waiting for? Yeah. Fuck, I'm not waiting for anything, so. It was really crazy.